Support American-made tariff-free clothing with American Giant with American Giant. They aren't affected by tariffs because their clothing products never left the U.S. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Nicole Byer, helping you make those rooms flyer. Today's style tip: when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild! Like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Ooh, fierce! This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. The world of fast fashion has complicated clothing production by shipping cheap parts around the world to whoever can sew them the cheapest. And now you, the consumer, are paying the price with rising costs. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. Skip the tariff and snag yourself American-made clothing with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com.
If you love entertainment, current events, and Hollywood, don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today we have a special guest.
Hi, I'm Esin Aydingoz, and I'm so excited to be here.
Yay, me too. I'm very happy to have you. So I love going back to the beginning. I always say the beginning kind of charts our trajectory in life. You know, our little habits that we pick up along the way follow us into our adulthood. Tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was that like? And kind of how did you find your way into doing the amazing things that you're doing now?
I guess, thanks to my elementary school, which was a private one, I
Nice.
often found myself on stage, which I really, really loved. At times, I was doing piano performances, and at times I was doing choir or musical theater, but this was all happening kind of simultaneously. I was going to two schools as a kid. One of them was a normal elementary school, the one that I mentioned, and the other one was a part-time state conservatory program, which was still pretty serious, and it also involved a lot of exams and auditions and stuff like that. So because I was doing that, the music teachers in my normal school were aware of my interest, and they were very supportive. And whenever we had any kind of shows in our school, they would always have me backstage and ready to go play something in case there's a kid who can't find his costume or someone forgets their line, or if there's some sort of backstage catastrophe.
Right.
And I really, really love that adults put so much belief in me. They really believed in me and they thought I could save the show. And I don't know, I just love that so much. So I kind of grew up feeling more home on stage than at home, even though I had a beautiful life at home too, but it was my happy place and it still is. So
Yeah.
I think you're so right. Your childhood really affects the way that I guess you evolve.
Absolutely, it does, right? And then also having that support system, I think helps too. I would never be where I am without my parents believing in my crazy dreams
Yeah,
of,
same.
going out and just doing it, because it is a risk, what we're doing. It's
Yeah,
I'm taking it because you don't know. You're just
absolutely. And I was always the shortest kid. I'm still very small in size. And my friends used to call me lentil and always made fun of me because I was small. But if it was a day that we had a show and I played piano, then I was the star that day. So I really like that.
Love that. I love that. That's so cool. So, was there for me, when I was 16, I rented the Alfred Hitchcock Presents series
Mhm.
one summer, and I just fell in love with it, just how he told stories, and it made me I want to do this. Was there a
Yeah.
song? Was it a movie? Was it something that you it just kind of resonated with you and you were like, yes, this is what I'm meant to do?
Kind of. My parents took me to Orlando to Disney World when I was 7. It was the summer
Oh,
break of first grade.
yeah.
And I remember like when we were leaving the parks for the last time after a magical freaking week, I was crying, of course, because I like know that I'm going back to Turkey and I'm not gonna get Disney World every single day anymore. But I made a promise to myself that I'm gonna work for Disney. I didn't really know what I could do for them, but I like really remember that moment of making myself the promise. And when I like later on found out that I can write music, because as much as I loved like being on stage, at that age, I didn't think I wanted to do it as a career. So it was just like a fun hobby thing. But when I realized that I can write music, which I was 13 years old, then I was like, oh wow, like this is the thing I would love to do for Disney. So I think that was the designating moment in my life that I put those two together. And I haven't written music for them yet, but I got to work with them as a music assistant, conductor, arranger, pianist. So I'm making my way there. And actually, I'm
Absolutely.
getting ready to conduct Lion King in Istanbul in January. So I'm currently learning the score, which is so fun.
That's
So yeah,
exciting.
thank
Wow.
you.
So you're a big manifester. You just like put it
Oh
out there.
yeah,
You just
absolutely, yes. And like all my little passwords, they always have keys about things that I want in life. So every single time I type it in, I like put it out in the universe and I remind it to myself. So yes, manifestation, 100% I believe in it.
I love that. I love that. So, in the journey and, finding you could write it, finding out that you could write at 13 and all these amazing things. What was the first step? Like, did you like, how did you know like, okay, I'm going to go to this school to learn this skill to develop that?
hmm I
What
mean, at first it was my parents finding me the right teachers and
Mhm.
the right schools and etc. But once I realized that I can write music, I soon found out about Berklee College of Music, which
Okay.
at the time was, I believe, the only undergraduate program in the world to offer film music as an undergraduate program.
Nice.
So, and because like I loved Disney and I wanted to write for Disney, and that goal was very specific, I really
Yeah.
wanted to study that. And in Turkey, there was no school or no program that really let you do that.
Mhm.
So then I was like, okay, I have to go to Berklee College of Music. There's no B plan. This is the A plan. We're gonna stick with the A plan. I mean, I still applied to 2 other schools, but I'm so glad A plan worked out.
Right.
Um, and for
Right.
our
I'm a
listeners
believer
now,
in A
oh,
plans.
sorry, I cut you off.
Oh no, you're good. I
Yeah,
would say I love it just an A plan because I feel like that's what it takes. Like, I mean, B plan, it just means that you don't really believe in yourself, I think.
right. Yep, yep. I mean, it's nice to have a B plan, I guess, but not enough in depth to actually execute it because A is what we're sticking with, and B is just for relatives to feel more safe or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of it.
That's awesome. No, I love that. So I have a fun question I love to ask every guest on the show. And there's no wrong answer, but
Okay.
3 levels of influence: money,
Ooh,
power, and respect. And if you could choose only one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
definitely not money. Um, Power or respect? Ooh, that's hard.
I know. There's no wrong
I
answer.
think I think power
Oh, I like it.
because I think it's really inspiring to get to be the first person to do something or
Mhm.
to kind of like be a trailblazer.
Yeah.
So I think power and that goes kind of together. Um, so I don't know, like for me, it's so important to be a good role model for other girls or other women. And I do want to show people that living a life that you believe in and that makes you happy is what keeps it sustainable. Because I feel so lucky to have found what brings me joy at such a young age. I feel like some people find it when they're 50, some people find it when they're 40, some people maybe never find it.
Right.
Um, and that's something I keep noticing more and more because I was just on tour for Disney. I conducted Coco, the animated
Yes.
film, live to
Yeah,
picture.
absolutely.
And like
Amazing.
I can't tell you the amount of joy I feel being on stage. And like some parents come to me and they tell me, "Oh my gosh, like you were the first conductor my daughter has ever seen," or like this was the
Oh,
first concert that we brought our son to. Like I think that is so special and that gives a power because they're gonna always remember it. It's their first concert. How can they ever forget, you know?
yeah.
So getting to be a part of something that special is amazing. And also on tour. it's not always about stage. You travel for 7 hours a day, 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
You get you get time at weird Walmarts in the middle of nowhere or other bus stops and stuff.
Right.
And sometimes I see people who are doing regular work, which is so important. We need all those people. Like we need people to sell our food and or sell our drinks or help us at the gas station. But like I don't see the joy in their eyes that I see in my orchestra's eyes. And that makes me so, so, so grateful for what we do.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, right? I'm so grateful
Yeah.
and thankful to I honestly
Yeah.
couldn't see myself doing anything. Could you, if you didn't, well, if you
Mhm.
wasn't a composer, what would you be doing as far as like
Okay,
professionally?
I have two answers for this.
Okay.
Um, I used to do theater in high school, which I also really loved. I know it's also an art, so maybe it doesn't count, but I would have loved to be an actress because I'm obsessed with storytelling, and I think that could also have been a way for me to do it. And I love kids so much, so I think I would have loved to be a kindergarten teacher or something.
Oh, I could see that. Oh, I love
And
that. That's so sweet.
then I can take my kids to Disney.
There we go.
Yeah,
I
win-win.
love it. I love it. Okay, wait, quick questions. Totally no relative like to any question, but Disney Florida or Disney, or I think it's like Walt Disney. I think they have Disney in LA. Yeah, which one's better?
Correct. So Disneyland is in Anaheim, which is like the LA one, and then
Right.
Disney World is in Orlando.
Which
I
one do you
think
like
Disney
best?
World simply because like that was my first entry to this world and it's actually bigger. The
It
one in
is
Orlando
bigger.
has four theme parks and two water parks, and then the one in LA only has two parks and no water parks.
Right.
So I think Orlando wins.
Definitely. Definitely. I love that. So, I want to get into a little bit about you're amazing. Your resume is impeccable. It's amazing. I mean, you've
Thank
done
you.
video games, you've done, just all types of mediums like films. Just is there a particular kind of thing? Do you like scoring more, composing more? Do you like video games more, or do you just love it all?
Mhm.
24.
I've only done three small video games, and I'm about to do my first very big one, and I'm really
Oh,
excited.
that's
The thing
exciting.
that makes me excited about a video game is there's not much dialogue, so it can be more musical. Normally,
I
when we
see.
write music for film, we have to be very mindful of the dialogue and the sound effects because like they play a huge role in telling the story, so we can never shadow it.
Mhm.
But when you do a video game, you also generally see the dialogues on the screen, or there's not much dialogue, so you can get more extreme with melodies or do more epic stuff
Yeah.
without having to worry about those other components. So that's the good thing about video games. But I think my favorite is animation because
Mm.
that's the thing I loved watching growing up. And I love the fact that it can be appealing for people of all ages or all ethnicities, or I don't know, like the way that a Pixar movie moves you,
Yeah.
it's so universal. And I want to work on things that are universal. So
Absolutely. I
I
love
think that's
that.
the answer for me.
For sure. I love that. I read too that in I think 2024 you were Grammy nominated, right?
Yes.
For a cool arrangement. I think it was Paint It. Is that
Painted
what it
Black.
was? Paint It Black on
Yep,
Netflix. So
correct.
tell me a little bit about that. Were you surprised? What was that feeling like? Did you like,
It
yeah.
was insane. So it was for the Netflix show Wednesday, which is directed by Tim Burton, and it's a show
Yeah.
about Adam's family. And Wednesday Adams in the show plays cello. So we turned this Rolling Stones rock song into a virtuosic cello arrangement, and that
Nice.
also has orchestra behind. So it was me and two of my friends, Chris Bacon and Alana da Fonseca.
Love
And
it.
honestly, like when we work on something, it takes a lot of time. And then like by the time the project finishes and gets released and draws attention, like I think literally 2 years went by or something. So
Ooh.
by the time it even came out, because normally we add music in post-production, but because this particular arrangement first had to be shot, like we
Mhm.
had to do it pre-production.
Okay.
So then so much time had to go by that like I even forgot that we did it. And then it came out and it blew up like more than I think any of my projects ever did, because especially in the world of classical cellists, it was
Mm.
such a hit and everybody was trying to play it. And we did it in a way that like it's not easy to play.
Uh-huh.
And it's actually debatable if it's playable or not. But that's exactly what
Really?
we went for because like Wednesday has these superpowers. So it shouldn't be like a simple virtuosic piece that any human can play, you know? So
Wow.
it was so funny watching YouTube videos about like, oh my gosh, did a person play it? Is this a computer? Like, is it even playable? And like, it's so fun being the person who works on it and knowing the answers, but like seeing everyone go crazy about it.
I bet that's fun, huh?
It's so fun. Like, I loved it so much, and I hope I'll get to experience it again one day. And as for the Grammy, like I always believed in it because normally I don't listen to the things I create in such awe, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like I never do that, you know? Like I create
Really?
something, I deliver it, and then it's
And
out
then
in the
you're done.
world. Yeah, and I'm kind of done because like if I keep listening to it, I'm gonna be like, oh, like I should have improved this part, that part, and
Yeah.
I'll drive myself insane. So I try not to do that. But with this specific arrangement, and also the cellist who played on it, he's insanely good. And he's John Williams's principal cellist. His name is Jake
Oh,
Brown.
nice.
Like I just loved it so much. I found myself listening it over and over and over again. So like I could see that there was a little hope that maybe we would get a nomination. But it wasn't the driving force behind us making it. Like we
Right.
didn't even know if Wednesday would be loved as much as it did.
Oh my God, it was a
And
hit, right?
also, yeah, it was great. But by the time I worked on it, I didn't even know Jenna Ortega would be on it. There wasn't any buzz about it
Oh,
because, as I'm
okay.
telling you, it's like all pre-production.
Wow.
Um, and something that blows my mind is everything in entertainment is always so rushed and last minute and on an emergency basis. And
Isn't
so
that
was this
something?
arrangement. Yeah, like we had to do it over one night, you know?
Wow.
It's like, hey, like the actress has a cello lesson tomorrow. We need this by
Oh,
tomorrow. And I'm like, I'm doing something for Tim Burton. Like, I want to take my sweet time and I want to make it perfect. And I want to revise it 60 million times for him so that it's perfect. But like,
oh
I don't
my
know, it was just
gosh.
magically, miraculously working. We sadly didn't win. So I'm a
Oh.
first-time Grammy loser, but I love that title.
Hey,
And
I mean, it's
actually,
really cool to be nominated, right? Just to be,
yes.
it's pretty awesome.
And that's something they always emphasize throughout the process because, like, once you're a Grammy nominee, you're a Grammy nominee.
Yeah,
Nobody can take that away from you, which is so
exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
And I still can't believe that it happened because, you know, like I used to write freaking Oscar or Grammy speeches in the shower when I
Oh,
was
I
even
love
7,
that.
8 years old with shampoo bottles. So I didn't get to deliver the speech yet, but it was so cool to get that close.
It will happen. It will happen for sure.
Thank you, thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. How, that's something I'm really curious about. Like, I can't imagine like how how do you deal with the pressure? I mean, you have to love it too, but like you said, you have to you have a deadline. You have to have it done by here and this, and then also
Mhm.
still still maintaining the good quality and exactly
Yeah.
what they want.
I think I try to overbook myself in a way
Okay.
that I don't have time to freak out. Because like sure, like if I'm gonna start thinking about it, I'll be like, oh no, like I have to deliver this, I have to do this, I have to do that, this has to be so good. Like
Right.
this person might watch this. Oh my gosh, it has to be my best track. Like I can't let myself go to that zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I just do the work and I love it so much. So it works out. And also, people always ask, like, where do you draw inspiration from? Like, do you ever get writer's block? And I think writer's block is a myth. Like, I hope I'm not going to jinx myself, but I've never gotten it because
Nice.
I think, like, once you do it enough, you
It's
know
just
that, like, if you don't like an idea, that's fine. And you're going to like your second idea.
yeah,
And it's okay if you don't like your first 7 ideas, but you're going to like the eighth one and you're going to continue to build on top of it. And it'll eventually work. And also
absolutely.
the beauty of working in media is like the films or TV series or video games, whatever I'm working on, it already gives me so much inspiration. The thing that I find paralyzing is if there are no limitations. So like
Mm,
if I'm going to write an orchestral concert piece just because I want to write an orchestral concert piece,
yeah.
like I could write it about so many different things. I could dedicate it to my mom. I could write it about my tour experience. I could write it about how much I love conducting, or I could write it about someone who broke my heart. Like where do I start? Like, do I want it a quintet, a quartet, a full orchestra, just for brass ensemble? What do I want?
Yeah.
So I think that's paralyzing. But
Mm.
when
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Save $100 on the Craftsman V26 Tool Power Tool Combo Kit, now at $199. No matter what the project is, Craftsman's high-quality, high-performance products empower you to build on. Visit Lowe's and check out the full line of Craftsman tools today. Valid through 7/9 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Maximum initial battery voltage measured without a workload is 20 volts. Nominal voltage is 18.
I'm working on a film or TV thing that has a deadline. First, the director already tells me so many clues about what he's looking for or what she's looking for. And sometimes this could just be like on an emotional basis of what the characters are going through, or sometimes they send me Spotify playlists, or sometimes they already have temporary music in the cuts that I receive. So when I have those limitations, I know where exactly I need to start, and then it's like very fast.
Love that.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
second nature, because you've done, you start to, it's just like yeah, when I started, yeah, I totally get it. I totally know what you mean. Like when I go on set or something, I get a script, whether it's an action, drama, whatever it is. Like it's just like the same process, but just a little different because it's the genre. But yeah, it's just like riding a bicycle. You don't really forget, but
Fun fact, I cannot ride a bicycle, and I've been told so many times, but I had to stop like right before I actually learned. So I actually can't ride a bike. But I need to try again in 2025. Thanks for the reminder.
2025, let's go.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Oh, that's so funny. So is there a genre that you particularly really enjoy? Because I know I read something that you did a romantic drama film that you composed.
Yes.
She Taught Love. I think
Correct.
that's what it's called. And so tell me a little bit about that, where like what was how did you approach that? And yeah, romance.
Okay, so
I've never done
question.
romance film ever in my life. I need to try.
Oh, I hope we'll do one together.
Let's do
So
it.
how I approach it, sorry, I think you first asked my favorite type of music to write or something.
Yeah, your favorite genre.
Um,
Yeah.
Okay, I love doing like orchestral, fantasy, magical type, like big
Oh.
sound. I don't know, like I love the Harry Potter score or anything that's soaring and big, but I don't mean like super fast actiony music. I mean magical, soaring, epic. Like I don't know how else to describe it. But I
Yeah.
also love writing sad music. Like I don't know why, even though I'm a joyful person, I like love writing music that would hopefully make people sob. I'm very evil like that. So I don't know, like hit me up for next Schindler's List. I'm so down.
Okay.
Like, and as far as my process for She Taught Love, I was so lucky. I had such a great relationship with the director. It was his first feature film, actually. His name is Nate Edwards, and he kind of comes from a music video background. So he's very musical.
Nice.
And in our initial meeting, I think like because he has never done a feature film, he wanted to learn more about the process of a director composer like collaboration. So I think my job interview kind of became like how to score movies 101, which is how I earned his trust. And then I'm so thankful he chose me because I really, really love this movie so much.
Awesome.
But yeah, he lives in Texas, but he really wanted to be a part of my like initial creative process. And he also uses the digital audio workstations that we use, so he's like familiar with our world. So I actually started composing on Zoom. And he was there with me, and he was with me as I was choosing the sound palette of the score in a way.
Nice.
And it was slowing me down in the sense that like those softwares works slower in the Zoom audio situation. So like things don't load as fast. And in that regard, it was slowing me down. But it was also making things faster in the sense that like if someone hates an idea, they're gonna hate the idea no matter however more stuff you put on it and however you're trying to prove them wrong.
Right.
So if he doesn't like a sound that I'm choosing, he would tell me immediately, and then I wouldn't waste 2 hours making something with it, you know? So in that regard, it earned me so much time. And then once we kind of figured out what he likes, what he doesn't like, then it gets easier. It's always the first few cues that are hardest to get approval on. But like once you start speaking the same language with the director, and once you understand what they like and what they don't like, or where they prefer silence versus music, like things get easier. And of course, then you continue to revise. Like it's never perfect. As a composer, like I need to always be prepared that I will have to revise. Like it's a part of the process. It's a big part of the process.
Nice.
But it was so fun. And my producers were also super involved, and they were also heavily influencing like creatively the score as well. There was
Awesome.
like a big loving family of making a romance movie.
That. That's awesome. I have a fun question.
Yeah,
If you
awesome.
could have a coffee date with any composer, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Oh my God. Can I answer one for each?
Sure, sure.
Okay, that one, definitely Chopin. Like I love him
Ooh.
so much as a classically trained pianist. And as I told you, like I love making people cry, and he makes me cry. So I'm like, let's talk. Um, and as far as the living ones go, hmm, I got to meet him, but I didn't get to hang out with him as much as I would have liked. But
Uh-huh.
Ellen Menken,
Oh, wow.
who did the music for Beauty and the Beast, Hercules, Little Mermaid, like all the things I loved and grew up with. I
Yeah,
would love to spend
classics.
more time with him.
Classics. What would you
Yeah,
ask?
what would I ask? Honestly, I think they just want to like chat and hang out and want people to be normal around them because when
Yeah.
you're at that level, people are always like, "Oh my God, like how can you help me like get to that stage in my career?" And like I'm not at all at his level by any means, but
Mhm.
I think I'm cooler than I was as an intern or an assistant, and I'm like slowly, hopefully getting there.
Yeah.
And like when I'm bombarded with questions, I'm like, can we
Yeah.
not? Like this feels like work.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, I would love to know more about his family life that no one knows about, or like his high school love, or I don't know, like I want to know him on a personal level
That's cool.
because that influences his music, you know?
Yeah, absolutely it does. Absolutely. And I think you're something, oh, it's so important too, what you just said about like we do live in a society now where a lot of people just like if they meet their idols, if they get to work with someone, they automatically like,
Yeah.
oh, how can you help me and or whatever. And it's not like, and you're right, they're just human. They just want to have a human connection,
Yeah.
a conversation, and you're right, it is that. I remember when I got to work with uh, well, yeah, the late Tony Todd, the Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
He was terrifying. He was just really, he looked really scary. But he was a nice guy. And I think I said
Mm-hmm.
something, I jokingly said something, and you know, uh, I didn't mention anything, but he's just really cool. And he was just like, he joked back, and I was just like, I think that's what it is. It's the human connection, right? Just
Right.
people just
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
connect
I
and
want to have a human connection with Ellen Menken, please, and thank you. Universe, hear this. Thanks.
yes, your mouth to God's ears.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, has there ever been a time in the journey that you've ever kind of gotten like burnt out or just kind of discouraged? And if you did, what are
Mm-hmm.
some things that you've done to kind of reel yourself back on and put yourself back on the track?
Got it. I think for me, it's really hard to come back from tour because I'm such a people person. And
Hmm.
composing is so isolating and you're always alone. And if you get to have a recording session, sure, it's fun and it's great. And if you live in the same city as your director, you occasionally get director composer time. But mostly you're alone in your studio, creating, revising, hearing no's from the applications that you do. So it can be hard on your soul.
Hmm.
So coming back to that after having pure fun for like more than 3 weeks and getting connected to thousands of people a night, I think that's really bad for my soul for some reason. um and in those times, honestly, like I try to go like think back on my life
Hmm.
and find the joy that I used to find before touring happened.
Ah.
Because like before then, every little project would make me so happy, so genuinely happy. Like if it's a short film that nobody's ever gonna watch, I don't care. Like I get to be the composer of it, and it gives me tremendous joy.
I
But the
love that.
more I started to share it with more people, then I always want to share it with more people.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember how old Esin would think and how old Esin would be grateful for every little opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's something that's been helping me. Okay, this is kind of like a longer story, but at the beginning of last year, I
Uh-huh.
promised myself that at the end of every month, I would do this Instagram reel of a recap of the month
Mm.
because I stuck at journaling. But if it's video, like I'm faster with it and I like remembering all the fun I had.
Hmm.
But then, as I always do, I got lazy with it in March or April and I never did it. So in November, my tour ended, and I still wanted to keep my promise to myself and make all those other reels. And
Yeah.
actually, like making those reels of all the past months before my tour helps me because I remembered like how much fun I had and
Yeah.
like how joyful all those other months were too. They were just different.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think like remembering all the great time I had brought me back to who I am.
Yeah,
But yeah.
it's that's so true though. And that's a really good idea. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's so important to, yeah, because it's so easy to like get, I think for me, I totally forget things I've done. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm stupid. I did do that.
No,
I
you're not
am making progress,
stupid.
because it is
Yeah,
lonely. And, you don't have anyone cheerleading you on all the time,
of course.
you
Yeah.
know. So I think that's a great idea to make a reel, a highlight reel, which is awesome. I like
Yeah.
that.
So I try to document things so that I remember it later when I feel down.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Thank you. What advice would you give to someone out there that's trying to become a composer, trying to get into the industry and field that you're in?
Okay, it's an advice that I need to listen to right now from my older self,
Mm,
which is to not wait for the right time. Because I
mm.
feel like when I first graduated, I was so bold and I was like, oh my God, I just need to go for it. Like, I don't know if you've seen Game of Thrones, but you know
Oh.
how Daenerys Targaryen just like goes for it always. I was kind of that way, like emailing everyone, messaging everyone. I didn't have the mindset of, oh, like, let me wait until this project gets released so that I
Mm.
only take their time once after this cool thing also releases, so that my first impression in their eyes is cooler. Da 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 da. Like, now
Mm.
that I've been in the business more, I have this more jaded idea of what I should be doing.
Mhm.
But I think in reality, like, again, we're all human and we're all trying to connect with each other. So, like, there's no such a right time. I should
Yeah,
just reach out to whomever I want to reach out to and not wait for the perfect moment. And it applies for everyone who's creative in the business.
so true.
So I think that's my advice because
I love
there's no such a perfect time.
that's real, and that is true because I think because you can like, I guess that's fear too, right? Like if you're like, oh, I'm not, because when are we actually ever ready? You
We're
know?
never ready.
It's like,
Yep. Yep, exactly. And also, like most of the time when you reach out to someone, you don't hear back in your first email or
Mhm.
first message or first initiation of a connection. So when you reach out again and again and again, like then they're like, okay, like you're clearly interested. Let's talk.
Yeah,
So I think like starting that process whenever you feel is right and whenever an idea is still like sparking is
yeah.
very important.
I love that. Love that. Great advice. Where can people find you on social media to find out everything you have going on?
Ooh, I'm mostly active on Instagram. It's my name, just my first name and my last name, and I can spell it for you. Esin Aydin as in Nancy, Goz. Sorry, that's hard, but hopefully my name will be in the title and they can figure it out.
Yes, we'll have everything for you for sure. Also, um, what do you have coming up? Are you working on anything that you can kind of tease us with a little bit?
Yeah, so I think I told you at the beginning of this, but I'm conducting the animated Lion King live to picture in
Yes.
Istanbul and in Ankara. The Istanbul one will be on January 26th, and then the Ankara performance is on February 2nd, which I'm so excited about because all my grandparents live in Ankara, and it's going to be their first
Oh,
time seeing me conduct. So that will be very,
wow.
very special.
Oh,
And then I have the Turkish video game that I will soon start writing music on. I will have to write like 110 minutes of big orchestral music,
ooh.
which I don't think I've ever written that much for a single project. So that's going to be a challenge, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
And then, oh, there's a beautiful Turkish artist who's actually half Turkish, half Dutch from Netherlands.
Nice.
And I got to do string arrangements for her upcoming album. So it's already
Awesome.
done. Our work is done, but it's not coming out until later in the year. So that's something I'm
Awesome.
impatiently waiting for because I really believe in her and I love her voice. I love her personality. And it's so nice when you like love someone for both of those things, not just the
Yeah.
music, but also the personality.
Oh,
So
yeah.
her name is Karsu, Karsu. So please check her out. So yeah,
Definitely.
those are the three things that come to my mind first.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure talking to you. It was
Thank
so fun.
you. Thank you. Thank you. I loved meeting you.
You
And
too.
our romance film is coming up soon.
Yes, that's right. Stay tuned. I'll definitely connect for sure on social media. And thank you all
Perfect.
for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.